man who attempted to kill Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh identifies as a transgender woman and was deeply mentally ill and suicidal, according to documents first obtained by Real Daily Wire. Details below. How interesting. I wish I could make it larger. All right, so way down here at the very bottom, it says this. The case is captioned as United States versus Nicholas John Roske. Roske. That name remains Ms. Roske's legal name, and she has not asked to recaption the case. Out of respect for Ms. Roske, the balance of this pleading and counsel's in-court argument will refer to her as Sophie and use female pronouns. So there you go. The Brett Kavanaugh attempted assailant is transgender. Uh-oh. And I guess I could read a few of the comments. Oh, details. Oh, they got a threat, huh? Oh, they do. Look at this. The Department of Justice is recommending that Nicholas Roske, the defendant, should be sentenced to 30 years for attempting to kill a United States Supreme Court justice. In the filings, and I'll get to the article, in the filings obtained by the Daily Wire, DOJ attorneys argue that the court's sentence must send the unequivocal, clear, and strong message that attempted violence and threats of violence against members of the judiciary, as well as other public and federal officials, cannot and will not be tolerated and will be justly and severely condemned. The revelation that Roske has been using a female name and pronouns is significant given the rise of transgender violence across the United States. A gunman living with his transgender boyfriend is accused of murdering Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk last week. Kirk's murder came only a few weeks after 23-year-old trans-identifying gunman named Robin Westman opened fire on Catholic school children as they prayed in Minneapolis. Kirk's accused killer, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, was living in a relationship with a 22-year-old trans-identified male named Lance Twiggs, thrown out of his family home for allegedly abusing drugs and alcohol and excessive gaming. That's new. I didn't hear about that. Though it was reported in 2022 that Roske portrayed himself as a self-styled trans gamer girl on the internet, more information about the attempted assassin's gender identity has not been made available to the public. Roske's story had largely vanished from public scrutiny other than occasional updates on his sentencing and charges. The DOJ filings reveal how Roske, motivated by the leak of the draft Supreme Court opinion showing Roe v. Wade would soon be overturned, scoured the internet for information on how to assassinate a Supreme Court justice. So that's what motivated him, her. After the leak published by Politico in May 2022, Roske searched terms relating to combat and body armor approximately 28 times. Within a month, he had searched for firearms-related terms over 90 times. That included quietest semi-auto rifle, gun calibers, best silencers for Glock 17, and more. It's not called a silencer, buddy. It's called a suppressor. He was also searching, do snipers aim for the head or the chest? Does the Secret Service protect Supreme Court justices? And easiest way to open a locked door. Also, how to break glass quietly, how to make shoes quieter, and how to make handcuffs with zip ties. Well, at least according to Hollywood, you take your shoes off. You walk around in socks. Anyway, on Discord, he was asking his online friends, would Associate Justice's last name be removed from the Supreme Court, help women long term? And I was thinking of the Roe decision. I feel like those 9 people make a much bigger impact than most people. And, quote, the thought of Roe v. Wade and gay marriage both being repealed has me furious, end quote. He was also researching how to kill people. Between May and June of 2022, Roske was looking into the, quote, most effective place to stab someone, end quote, and, quote, how to quietly knock someone out, end quote. He was searching, quote, how far into the neck is the trachea, end quote. Also, quote, what is the best length of knife for stabbing, end quote. And the third one is, quote, most effective way to silently kill someone, end quote. And, quote, how much force do you need to stab someone's neck, end quote. Worth noting, this looks like the last one here, Kavanaugh was not his only target. Nicholas Roske was hoping to kill at least 3 Supreme Court justices, according to the DOJ filings. Quote, in the spring of 2022, the defendant meticulously researched, planned, and attempted to assassinate at least one, but had a stated target of 3 sitting judges of the United States Supreme Court. The defendant's explicit objective was to single-handedly alter the constitutional order for ideological ends. Those plans, mercifully, were disrupted upon the defendant's arrival at the first Associate Justice's residence due to the presence of a protective security detail, and the defendant was arrested at that location. The defendant's own words show that the defendant was, quote, shooting for 3, unquote, assassinations, emphasis added. A map saved in the defendant's Google account contained location pins marking what the defendant believed to be the residential addresses of 4 sitting Supreme Court justices. What a monster, man. Was this an article as well? Yeah, here we go. I'll link those if you want to check those out. I'm sure that the gist of the information was shared in these posts, so probably don't have to go through the articles themselves.